Hi everybody, it's me again, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of Athletic SOS. So let's imagine that you're stuck. Somebody's in front of you, you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, and there's something blocking you, something's in your way. You've created a path to get there, right? And to me, getting an athletic scholarship, as long as we've been doing this, is pretty simple. You know, using our software, I'm gonna walk through what I hear over and over again, year after year after year. We've been doing this now since 2018, really created the software in 2015, but I was coming from more of a technical aspect. And then in 2018, we started actually going out to the school. We started hearing the stories. We started meeting up with ex-athletes, professional athletes, college athletes, coaches, trainers, everybody. And the stories are the same. And the people that made it all the way through, if you really knew their stories, you would understand there is no perfect path. There is no straight path. There are sacrifices that are made that you will never know about. There's this little piece of luck that happened for a lot of people that you will maybe are not seeing right now. And then the story, and especially the American story, and I think there's a worldwide story, there's this story of perseverance, right? Of sacrifice, of all these things that you have to do to get there. If you really want it bad enough, all you have to do is X, Y, Z. You just have to stick it out. And so if things don't work your way, then you didn't want it bad enough. You didn't try hard enough or something like that. But it's not the way. If you really knew the stories of all the people that you think are super successful and did things in a certain way and got there and were just the best of the best, you would be very surprised on what it took to get there, who they knew, what happened here, what did that. And it's not to take away from anything. You still have to be put in that situation, and you still have to be ready, and you still have to have the talent. But if you've watched professional sports, you've watched college sports, you've watched youth sports, you can always sit there and go, how did that kid get there? How did this kid make it there? They're not as good as somebody else you saw somewhere else. Or maybe you feel like that's for yourself, and you could be delusional. Maybe you're not that good. But everything I'm about to tell you right now is about how to not get stuck. How, if you want to get an athletic scholarship, what are you going to have to do? What do you need to be thinking about so that you don't get stuck and time just goes past? Because one of the real sobering ideas about athletic sports is there's always another kid coming behind you. That year goes by, that year that you should have gone, especially your junior year to your senior year, or that summer leading up into your senior year. Everything should almost be set. And then you should start getting offers during your senior years. Now, I know there's some kids that get offers earlier than that, and some kids make it during their senior year. They make that turn that gets them where they need to get. But for the most part, you've got your junior year to make yourself. Everyone's watching you. Every college coach that was interested in you is watching your junior year all the way through to the beginning of your senior year. So that year that you're playing in school, that summer afterwards, they're going to all of your events, whether it's a showcase, it's a viewing tournament, it's a combine, no matter what it is, they're coming to see, they're coming to verify, and they're going to make a decision, and then they're moving on to their next thing. And their next thing is for that next person that's going to their junior year, and they'll follow you through your senior year just to keep tabs on you to make sure you qualify to go to their college and all that. And at the same time, they're watching those freshmen, sophomore that are moved up and that's on their radar too. They got to keep moving, I guess is the best way to put it. And so if you don't get to that window, if that window's not set for you correctly, maybe you didn't make varsity this year. Let's start there. Let's say you're going into you're in your junior year and you're trying out for the team and you didn't make varsity. And now you're gonna have to go, and maybe you can make it in your senior year, or even worse, it's your senior year and you didn't make varsity, but you did pretty good that summer. And so let's talk about what your plan has to be then. So maybe you didn't make varsity because the team's full. There's just so many kids. You're a junior. The coach knows you're good enough. You'll make it in your senior year. Okay, so you'll make it in your senior year, or it's your senior year and maybe something happened during your sophomore and junior year. Maybe you had a bad attitude. Maybe you didn't grow tall enough. You're not big enough, and they've moved on. And there's a sophomore or a freshman that's coming in that is just as good as you are, and the varsity coach is like, you know what? I'm sorry, kid. You're not going to be able to make it this year. I'm going to bring these kids up. We're going to start new. Everybody's graduating after this year. I'm going to have an empty cupboard. It doesn't make sense to bring you on right now. I need to get them ready for our future. And you didn't do anything wrong. You worked your butt off. You went from frost off you got the skill set, you started growing into your body, but there's no space for you. There's just no room for you on that team. Or it could be a myriad of reasons. And what I want to get you guys to understand is there's more than one path. And so it's one of the reasons I created the software. So if you're using our Athletic SOS software, you can go in now and you can say, okay, I didn't play varsity. I got a problem here. So what am I going to do? So you should be looking at junior colleges or maybe one of the lower level schools. And then now you need to put a plan together for that. First of all, that year that the season's going on, that you're not going to be participating. Can you play a JV at your school? There's a lot of schools, if you're going to your senior year, you can't play JV. Now, if you're going to your junior year, you should make the best of that JV year. You're starting to work on your leadership skills. You're going to build up your actual skills for that sport, obviously, but you're also going to start looking at, okay, if I'm going to make varsity next year, what's going to be open? What position is going to be open that I can play? Where can I fill in so I can make sure I get there? If you're going into your senior year and they won't let you play JV, now you got to think in terms of, okay, I'm probably going to have to go, if I want to continue playing, and that's a big deal for you, if it's that serious for you, then, okay, I need to start looking at some junior colleges. What are some junior colleges I can go to that feed into the school that I was thinking I wanted to go into the first place, or that's going into a school that I want to go to, a college that I want to go to. So I'm going to go to this JC, this 2-year school that feeds into this particular 4-year school, or at least this conference that I want to get into. And so those are the kind of things this is how you don't get stuck. Like this person, this high school coach cannot block me. I'm going to get to where I need to get to anyway. Yeah, they're putting a little impediment in front of me, but they're never going to block me. Those are the kind of things that you have to be thinking about. The next one is, let's say I make varsity and I don't get a chance to play a lot. So one of the things you do when you're using Athletic SOS is you're going to go in and you're going to start reading the bios. Remember, when you go in, you find all the schools you're academically qualified to attend that have your sport at the level you believe you can participate, and then you're going to go in and you're going to look at that sport at that college, and you're going to start going through the roster and you're going to look at the bios. Look at the biographies for these kids and see if you fit what they're doing. If you find out every kid on there was an All-American and was the leading scorer or the leading rusher or the leading, had some of the top scores in the country for the track and field, whatever sport you're playing. If the best of the best are there and you're not the best of the best, you don't measure up, you either got to get there or you're going to have to figure out, okay, I don't measure up here. Where do I measure up? And you start figuring those things out. And so, and at your school, if you're sitting on the bench, if you can find a way to get on the court or field, you have to find out what that is. Maybe you have to sacrifice some of what you would like to do for what they need, and then maybe that gets you an opportunity to play, because you're just building to get to the next thing, and then you're going to go ahead and blossom there. Because no matter where you get stuck, no matter what you're trying to do in life, sometimes there's a situation for what you need, what you do is not needed, it's not required. Let's say, and I know I use basketball too much, you guys have told me that a lot, but it's a sport that I went through with my daughter. And one of the things we used to always talk about is, even when she played high school and even when she played college, there were some kids that were really, really good, but they didn't need that. So they don't need this score anymore. We've got our score. They play in our system. They're going to be our score. So you come in trying to show off the previous score, because obviously the coach is going to have an epiphany and go, wow, this kid should be over that kid. But that kid is there not because they're a great scorer, but because they do it at the right moments and that coach trusts them. For you to beat that out, it would have to happen in game time, and that coach is not going to switch over to you unless it's just some way that you're just so much more superior than everybody else. It caught everybody by surprise. That can happen. But that's a 1 in a million, because that coach wants consistency and they want certainty, and they feel like they have it right now. Now, if things don't go well, you may get an opportunity, but when you walk in that door, you say, okay, this is the king, this is the ace person here. I need to figure out, where do I fit in, because I want to be on the court, I want to play, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to take up the slack when they're not available, or when they're having an off game, or something's going wrong. I can come in and show what I do, but in the meantime, I'm going to contribute to this team. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to make this coach feel like I need this person with me just in case. And then you can be the just in case kid, right? So those are some of the ways that you move forward. Now, in that case, you've proven that you can play varsity. Now it's a travel club program. It's a camp you go to. It's a trainer that you're going to get that's getting you ready for your collegiate position, what you're going to do when you get to college. You want to get better and better and better. You're already good, but you want to get better and better and better to where it's undeniable. And what you're looking for now is for a college coach. Maybe they read your bio, they look you up, they're watching you play, they see something special in you, then they come during the season, during your school season, and you're not even playing that much. And they get it. They've seen it happen before. College coaches aren't crazy. They know what they're going. College scouts, assistant coaches, they've seen this before. Now they think they may like you even better because now you're that secret thing for them, right? Hey, we're going to get this kid and bring them over. They're missing it. They're not using them right. Whatever it is going on, or we need what they do. That's where you want to be. That's a great position to be in. And which brings us to the next one. You're the superstar. You're a great kid on the team. You're leading this, you're leading that. You got accolades. People are writing about you. You're all state, all region, all league, whatever you need to be. But there's that one school you wanted to go to. It's the school that your parents went to or an uncle went to, or somebody in your world is saying, hey, if you don't get here, then you failed a little bit. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. But what you want to be able to do is to say, that can't be my only option. What are my other options? And this is about not getting stuck. Because what if that coach doesn't want you there at that school? Maybe they have somebody else just as good as you that come from their own state, right? Maybe you're trying to go out of state, or from a high school that they get a lot of their kids from, and they're going to take that other kid because it keeps the open line of communication for that school, even though you deserve to be there just as much as they do. You know what, kid, I got to take this kid over here because this keeps that line open. You don't know why you're not getting there. Or that coach from that college has been recruiting you for a couple of years. You feel like you got everything set, and then they take off and they leave, and they're not going to coach anymore. They're going to move over to another program. And now you're back at square one. You still want to go to that school, but now the new coach is coming in. They had some recruits they were looking at, and they're going to get them to switch over, especially with the transfer portal now. Now those kids are going to go over to this school that you thought you had an in on. You locked yourself in. You always have to give yourself a path out, and you have to be thinking in those terms. Now, Athletic SOS will help you do that, but this goes beyond just sports. You got to be doing this all the time, all through your life. You got to have a plan way past. Here's the other thing. One of the things I've been able to see over the last, I'd say the last year and a half has been really big. But even before the pandemic, remember, we really went all in 2018. For 2018, 2019, right until the pandemic hit in the spring of 2020, we were moving. I was being invited to places that had ex-professional athletes. And one of the things that I noticed there is that sports was who they were for a lot of people. And so the people that had figured out that sports is what they do, not who they were, those were the happiest people. You could see the way they moved in life. They were going into business ventures. That's the reason I was there for a lot of things. They were trying to figure out, okay, how do I take this skill set I had that I took as far as I could? They got to the professional level. And some just came out of college and didn't go pro, but they were in that room too. But they had already put in their head, okay, this is going to end one day, but I've done something special. How do I use that? That's what you guys should be thinking now. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what level you are. You should be going, okay, this isn't who I am. This is what I do, and I do it better than most people. And so I'm going to be able, when I come out of this, on the back end of this thing, I'm picking up assets, which are people, which are skill sets, which are connections, all of that kind of stuff, because I got something else I want to do. You need to figure out what that is. And that gives you the most paths no matter what, because if you do get stuck, there is no way out. There is nowhere else to go in this sport. I'm not going to get there this way, but I'm going to take all these assets because I was going to do this anyway later on. That's the ultimate, you can't block me. Is that, okay, if this is where it is, this is where I don't go any further in this, then it's cool. I'm okay with it because I was going to do this anyway. This was going to be on top of that. Yeah, I wanted this. And this was something I've been working on since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. It was just a given that I was going to keep moving forward. But sometimes it doesn't. But that's not your life. That's not who you are. It's something you do and you're good at it. And now let's use that. And everybody should be doing that in every endeavor that they have. There's something in the world that you're really, really good at, that there's an expectation. It could be anything. You're the smartest kid in the class. You're great at music. You're great at art. You're great at whatever it is, math, science, everything. The people that are, especially adults, but other people in your world, and this is the other thing I want to get to today, because I think this is more important for young people than anything else I can say to you. There are going to be people in your life that no matter what you do, it's not good enough. Oh, you did this. It's always, oh, well, you know, if you don't do X, Y, Z, you know, this person over here was able to do this and this, and so if you're not doing that, then, you know, you're good. I get it, you're okay, but you're not this level. You know, Bobby down the street or Jeannie over here, they, you know, they're here. You know, they made varsity freshman year. You only made it your junior year. No matter what, if you live your life to prove somebody else wrong, that you're going to do it, that you're going to get there, here's what I'm going to tell you, and I've been around a long time. If you pull it off, if you do the best of the best of the best, you're a Hall of Famer, you took this thing as far as you can do, and not just in sports, but in anything in life. When that person, even if they admit they were wrong about you, they're going to turn the page right after and go, ah, man, you really did it. You know, power to you, blah, blah, blah. Hey, so what about, and you're going to be like, I just spent the past 5, 10, 15 years of my life trying to prove you wrong. And you're just going to turn the page like that. It will be heartbreaking to you. It is not worth it. You do your life your way. What is your ultimate goal? Where are you trying to get to? What are you trying to be? Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Now, and this is something I've had my whole life. I've had people tell you, oh, you failed here, this didn't happen there, you're not going to do this. And I just look at people and I stare at them. I don't argue with anybody. But there is nothing anyone else can say, even if they did, even if they were a Hall of Famer, them telling me what it takes for me to be successful in my life, that's just a joke to me. You have no idea what I'm trying to accomplish or what I'm trying to do. All I want to do in my life is when I'm taking my last breath, I look back and I go, I did it the way I wanted to do it. I know one of the things that I'm really good at, though, is I understand there are systems in place that you're not going to be able to get around. You're going to have to play the game to get where you want to go, but you have to be playing a different game too, right? This game I got to play, that society that set up a bunch of rules. You got to go to school, you got to get good grades, you got to, you know, if you want to get this job, you got to go to college. But I'm always thinking a couple of steps ahead. I'm doing the same thing with the software right now. I had a meeting with someone that was interested in investing in sports solutions and Athletic SOS in particular. But I've taken my business and I've got a holding company and I've got all these other little businesses. Athletic SOS is just one of them. But I know where I'm trying to get to. So we're sitting there and they're telling me, okay, we need to see your numbers. So I'm showing them how many members we have and we're growing like crazy all of a sudden. Thank you guys. First of all, you guys use the code down below, use the software. We're trying to get athletic scholarship. Our software is as good as you're going to get. I know it because people are telling me that are in the industry and they know what's going on. We've done a phenomenal job with the software. But so they're looking at, and then they always say the same thing. Okay, we need to see that the software is working. Where are your numbers for the people that use your software and got athletic scholarships? But I don't have it. And I don't have it for a reason. We didn't even put it in because how would I know that if you use the software just one time, found your school, but maybe you're a sophomore and it's not till 3 years later, you've gone off now and you're starting to work on that. I don't know if that I can prove that it was the software that got you there, but it may be that you recognized all the schools you had opportunity for and you moved on. So, and then what if I gave you the software, you don't go to play at the next level, but you found the school that you want to go to, your dream school. They have your major, it's in a place you want to be, you're starting to play sports. Sports was cool to you, but it's not everything for you. But we were able to show you a bunch of options that you academically qualified to attend, and you decide to go to that school. You don't even care about playing anymore at your sport. And so you go there. How do I quantify that? There's no way for me to know. So what I tell them all is the same thing, but I don't need them to purchase my software or even invest in it. It'd be great if they did. And if it does, I'm trying to find partners. I'm not trying to find money. One of the things is, and I'm going to tell you guys this, and I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I want to get some of this stuff out to you guys because I want you guys to go with me on this whole journey. If you have a great idea, if you have a talent for something and you want to take it and move forward with it, do not take someone else's money just so that you can skip along a little faster or so you can be so huge or something like that. Because anybody that gives you money, especially if they give you enough money to move you forward, to make a difference, they want their money back and they want it back tenfold, minimum. Tenfold, and they want it back as quickly as possible. And if they give you that money, they're going to put some conditions on there. If it looks like that what the direction you're going, what you're trying to do is not going to make them their money back tenfold or better, they have something in there where they're going to have enough equity and they can remove you from the top of the food chain and put somebody else in place that will get them to a place where that business becomes valuable to somebody else, and they'll take it and sell it off for you, and you'll get your little small corner, and you did all that work all that time. Don't do it. Don't take anybody's money if you don't have to. Do not take loans out if you don't have to. If you're not in a position to finance that business yourself, don't keep your job. Take another job and still work on your project. Yes, you can do that. And if that's not enough to pull it off, you go find yourself somebody else that wants to work with you. You go look into your family member. You sit everybody around the kitchen table and you say, listen, here's what I want to be able to do. I need you guys to help me out here. I need somebody else to take another job so that we can get some more money. Or I need you to carry this load. I need you to do this for me. You're going to need some help at some point if you want to make the business an actual business is going to bring money in, because it's time, it's resources, it's connections, it's all of these different things that you're going to have to do, but you're going to have to sacrifice something else. If you want to be a success at anything, you're going to have to sacrifice some of the things that everyone else gets to do because you're trying to accomplish something further on down the line. And I know I've moved away a little bit from sports, but this is what we're trying to do with Sports Solutions. What we're trying to do with Athletic SOS is get you in the mindset of this is just one phase of who you are. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What does it look like when you're taking that last breath? Now, for me, it's all family. I'm very family oriented. If I can get this thing up and running and my family can take it and run with it somewhere else, and they don't have to do exactly what I do, but I started the dominoes falling, right? That's what I want to be. That's where I want to be. And in the meantime, what I'm being very, very cognizant of, and I'm so glad I have my wife in this world, because I will lock into something and just go all in on that. But she makes sure that I live life daily too. She says, hey, we got to take some trips. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go watch a movie. Let's go visit this. Let's go do that. So you need to have a balance in your life, or else you'll be unhappy anyway, because there could be some point where you're just not able to move forward on whatever you were trying to do, but you're just getting it started. Just think of yourself as a starting point. Now, if your family has been that way forever, which I think my family will be by the time I get done with all this, that this is a standard for how we live our lives, then that's different. Now you're moving on. Now, how do you grow things? Or how do you grow another branch off of this big, strong tree, right? How do you create another branch? And then talk to them. Let everybody know what you're thinking. But your family way, you guys are already thinking that way anyway, which is a blessing for you. I can't tell you what's a better blessing than having people in your life that are about accomplishing things and doing things and moving the family forward. That's my thing. There's some people that aren't into the family thing at all. They just want to do their own thing. They just want to visit their thing. But I'm going to tell you something else. If you want to be happy, if you want to be successful in your life, if this is my opinion now, if you're not doing things for other people, it will start to get empty over time. If it's all about you, because you can accomplish a million gazillion things. If there's nobody else that's being brought up with you, that you're not floating up along with you, it's going to be empty. If there's nobody you can sit around, because at some point in your life, I don't know when it's going to be, things won't be going somewhere. You'll get lonely. You won't have anybody to talk to because you're all about you keep moving, you keep moving, you keep moving, you keep moving. Then you have to put roots down somewhere. There has to be somewhere where you can go and they understand who you are as you, not as whatever you are, but as you. Whatever you're going to do in your life, it can't be who you are. You have to be who you are. You have to be comfortable with who you are, what you're all about, and don't let anybody say, oh, there's something wrong with you or something like that. We're all weird people, right? We've all got our foibles. We're all a little slightly off kilter. That is my opinion. So whenever I hear somebody say that person's crazy, or that person says, hey, we're all crazy. We're all got a little bit something off. So don't worry about that. You are a unique human being. We are on this earth. One of the biggest things that we have is our ability. We have to have some sort of social connection to other people. Go ahead and get that. Yes, you may be a little quirky, maybe a little bit off. Don't worry about that either. But if you're an athlete, and you're a good enough athlete to play at the collegiate level, even making high school varsity, you're still rare. And so that is your gift. That is one of your gifts. You want to take that gift and go as far as you can with it, but it is not who you are. If you get that down, no matter what else, everything else will be a success for you. Your life will be wonderful, because you will have this as something to say, okay, this is my catapult to whatever I want to do. And it's something you go back and reminisce on, and it's something many people will never, ever get. Okay, and it's not that they can't get it in something else, but they're not going to have this. They're not going to have made varsity. They're not going to have made a college team, and I don't care what level, high D1 or the one of the other levels of sport. There's still a ton of kids that wanted that spot that didn't get it, and if you get it, you better believe you're special. And then if you get to the ultimate, you get to the Olympics, or you get to the professional level, then you're really on the top percentile of people that have gone as far at doing what you're doing, and there's people coming behind you. And then this is the final thing. I didn't want to make this too long. I've gone on kind of a tangent here. One of the most important things you guys have to remember as an athlete, there are people coming behind you that are watching you. They're watching how you behave, how you move in this world. They're going through the same thing. If there's somebody in your life, somebody in your family, somebody that's always picking at people and telling them it's not good enough, or that's not, you know, if you don't get here, then you didn't do that. How you handle that, they're watching you, because they're going to do it to them too. They're going to do it to other people too. If you're at a job and somebody's always got something to say, or they're writing a bad report, or you came in late, but the other person came in late, but they wrote you up, or you're going through all this, how you handle that, how you move through life, other people are watching you. You are their inspiration. Go ahead and be their inspiration. And the way you get to handle all of these different things with all these different people and all the different things that are going on in life is you've got a plan beyond. Whatever you're doing right now, you've got another plan beyond. You can't block me. That should be your mantra for everywhere you go. You cannot block me. You can't stop me. I'm moving forward anyway. Yes, you can block this path, but I've got this path and this path and this path, because I got other stuff to do. And that keeps you from getting frustrated and lashing out and getting angry and all of that kind of stuff, and sabotaging yourself because you want to get back at that other person. So, look, I got stuff to do. My dad had the greatest line. I mean, you know, it's funny, my dad's gone now, passed away earlier this year. He used to always say, you know, used to get frustrated about little things when you're a teenager and you're a young adult. And he used to say, what are you worried about that for? You got things to do. He didn't use the word things, but that was one of his favorite lines to me always. You got stuff to do, man. What are you doing? Now, you don't let people bully you or anything like that, but the little stuff that would get to me when I was younger was he just had that way of just keep moving through life. Nobody gave him a hard time or anything, but he always had things to do. And I think that's one of the things that I picked up from him as I moved through it. I want to relay that to you guys. You got stuff to do, but you need to have something to do. What is that? What do you want to accomplish later on? Where are your path? What are your different interests? Go to all of them and don't let one block the rest of them. You're an athlete. Got it. What else are you? Where else are you going? What else are you interested in? Who else do you know? What other people are you picking up along the way? What kind of person are you? Who are you helping out? Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And don't let anybody tell you that you are not that person. You don't do this, you don't do, you're this athlete. This is who you are. No, I'm sorry. That's one of the things I do. Is never who I am. And if you get that right, life's yours, man. You can do whatever you want to do. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. The software, if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, Athletic SOS is the way. I do not charge for the software. I've got a plan in place. I know where I'm going. I want you guys to ride along with me, and I know you're doing it because people are signing up. Give this, give the software and the code and the instructions for how to use the code to other people. That's the other thing I was going to tell you guys. Don't worry about competition. I know you're trying to get your athletic scholarship. Why would you give it to someone else? Give it to someone else anyway. Let them go. They're not going to pick the same schools you're going to pick. They're going to find their way. I need to grow our membership. So we're going to grow and we're going to do some great things. I'm going to make a cool announcement next week, the end of September. I'm going to make a really good announcement for you guys about something that I'm looking forward to. I want to invite everybody to. And then we've got some new software that we're writing. I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to do. And so I want you guys to go along with it. This is going to be bigger than you getting an athletic scholarship. I promise you that. We're working on stuff for the younger kids, that 5 to 8 year olds. How do we tackle that world? And then we're going to do something from 9 to 12. And then this 13 and up is Athletic SOS for the most part. But we want to get you past just being an athlete. We want you to do whatever you want to do in your life, but to figure out what that is and start on that path. And if that path gets a little bit crooked and you see something that more interesting to you, because that is what is going to happen, that you go, wow, I was thinking this, but look at this. And so, and I would say one last thing before I sign off here. If you were born after 1990, the world has accelerated at an amazing pace. Anyone born before that, as I was, there was a path, there was a plan. There were still things we had to overcome. Don't think that we had some silver spoon in our mouths because we've done well. I'm right at the tail end of that baby boomer world. We didn't get lucky. The group that came after me kind of got shafted a little bit. I actually see that. And then as we move forward, but this world was accelerating at an incredible pace. I happen to be in the tech space, and so I see it. and you're off balance right now. All the rules, all that stuff is kind of off a little bit. Don't worry about it. You're going to get there. If you guys hang with us, I'm gonna always keep you guys abreast of what's going on and what I think is happening right now and where we're going. But I'm doing it from a sports point of view, because one of the things I've learned is if you stay in your lane, people leave you alone. And this is our lane. I'm using your athletic ability to get where you want to do. Adults, parents, coaches, everybody else that's a little bit older, that's kind of gone through a little bit here. If you guys stick with me, I'm going to be bringing some thoughts and ideas on stuff that we're trying to do, and see if you guys are interested in those things, and maybe you're going to create your own thing too, besides being the parent, the coach, the trainer, whatever you're doing. There's got to be some other stuff that you want to do. That can't be who you are either. It's part of what you do, but it's not who you are. And I'm sure you've got your own hopes and dreams and things that you want to get to. I'm going through this with the business. I'm learning this as I move along, but I'm putting a plan together, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we get down the line. And so that's it. I'm going to stop right there. All right, guys, best of luck to you guys in everything you do. Use the software, give the software to other people. Oh, the YouTube channel, we're doing pretty good here. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, that helps me out a lot. And I'll talk a little bit more about that and YouTube and all these kind of things too, because those things are interesting to me too. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.